Thank you so much. You know, back in the green room, you cannot tell that there's this many people out here. So hello. So thank you so much. I first want to just thank Benny Johnson and Arsenal for the best campaign videos that I've ever seen. I was so honored that he was able to work with me on them. He did both my videos, so definitely I want to say thank you to Benny Johnson and everybody at Arsenal that put so much hard work into that. So, Black Lives Matter. America has heard that message of Black Lives Matter countless of times. We can't get away from it, whether it's in music, on TV, we hear it from celebrities, athletes, but the virtual signaling of the left, we see it, right? As their message of destruction, unrest, and chaos in our cities. But do they really care about Black lives in America? No. We don't need to look far to see the evidence of this. Democrats sit quietly while looters and rioters destroy our cities. You know, it took Joe Biden and friends 3 months to even denounce what was going on in many of these cities. And do you know which businesses that they were burning down? A lot of them were minority owned. A lot of them were for the minorities in the communities. You know, in Baltimore, I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2015, we had our riots. And most of those businesses that burned have never come back. It's 2020, and it still looks the same. And you probably saw it in my videos. But this isn't anything new. This isn't a mistake. Democrats do this because they need to do it. Democrats need to push a toxic victim mentality in order to keep stringing people along to vote for them. And while this strategy might have helped them win elections, it has horribly failed to improve lives. And that's how I know they don't really mean it when they say Black Lives Matter. Here's a fact. In the last 3 years, it has been Republican, President Donald Trump, that has gone above and beyond for the Black community. First, this president created the greatest economy since World War II. He increased Black employment across the board. Under Trump, Black and female unemployment fell to a record low due to the president's economic policies, such as relief and America First agenda. He talks about manufacturing. Many of you know that Baltimore City, we used to be a manufacturing powerhouse. What did we see during the coronavirus pandemic lockdown? We relied on other countries for our PPE. We're supposed to be the greatest country in the nation. Everyone talks about his response. Just think about what the response time would have been had we been making our own biotech industry right here in America. But here we were calling everybody else, right? So this is something that I talked to President Trump's administration about. We have the second largest port in the country in Baltimore. Why not just bring those manufacturing jobs right back through Baltimore City's port? We need the career opportunities. We need the job training. We can be a manufacturing powerhouse again. You know what's interesting? If you ever look at the cities that had the most unrest, a lot of them were manufacturing cities. And so we hear often it's about race. Is it really about race? Or the lack of opportunities, the poor education? Are we confusing classism with racism? Most of the time. We really are. The White House has also prioritized opportunity zones in largely Black areas. He's already invested $75 billion across this country in cities that Democrats left neglected. I know yeah, you can clap. I don't know if you guys heard about his platinum plan, but he rolled it out here just last week on Friday. He's going to invest $500 billion moving forward in his second term, and he will be reelected. The president has also made sure that HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, do not have to go to the White House every single year to ask for funding. This is puzzling, right? Because we had a black president for 8 years. So you tell me that the black leaders at HBCUs went to this black president every single year to beg for money? It's interesting. President Trump also passed the First Step Act, reversing the destructive legacy of the Biden-supported 1994 crime bill. Now, this means a lot to me. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm running in Maryland's District 7 against Kwesi and Fume. Kwesi and Fume was in office from 1987 to 1996. And you know what he did when he was there? Not much, but he did one thing. He co-sponsored that 1994 crime bill. Yeah, we have a billboard going up next week about it. He's gonna love it. All over the city. That's just the beginning. Just last week, President Trump unveiled a new deal for Black America, the Platinum Plan. And this is what I was telling you guys about, the $500 billion. You know, in this plan, when he rolled it out, he talked about actually making the KKK and Antifa terrorist groups. What was interesting is we saw during the debate that they wanted him to condemn them. He just talked about making these groups terrorist groups. Meanwhile, I have to ask, what does that actually do for the black community? Right? What does him condemning these groups do for the black community? Like removing the Confederate monuments, painting Black Lives Matter on the streets. That doesn't actually do anything for the black community. It's pandering. That's what the Democrat Party does best. Furthermore, President Trump wants to make Juneteenth, the day when Black Americans celebrate being freed from slavery, into a national holiday. Yes. That begs the question again, we had a black president for 8 years. He got nothing done. He really did. I mean, I wonder what he was doing there. I really do wonder. We saw the photo ops, right? Just think about this. When you look back and think about what did President Obama accomplish, what was it? Obamacare? A mandate? What else? Nothing. Nothing at all. President Trump is the best president I've seen in my lifetime. I know I will be elected on November 3rd. He will be elected on November 3rd. And together, we are going to turn inner cities across America around. Because what I plan to implement in Baltimore City is just the beginning. We can take that plan and put it into any city. And then what about the rural areas? My husband's from Shamokin, Pennsylvania, an old coal town. They're struggling also. There's things across this country we could be focused on. This morning we heard about the United Airlines and all the people that are going to be furloughed because Congress couldn't expand the money for them to continue to go to work. But how come Chuck Schumer and many other people were on CNN talking about the debates and how they want to enforce more rules on the debates? How about some rules for Congress? Rule number 1, do your job. Rule number 2, don't take vacation until you do your job. And rule number 3, term limit. I would also like to end the lifelong pensions too when I get there. Because the way I see it, if you do your job on Capitol Hill, when you're at the end of your term, you can go and work in the private sector because you did your job on Capitol Hill. You don't need a lifelong pension. There's a lot of things we can be doing differently in this country. And I think we need to get back to our core values. Some people act like they're afraid to say, praise the Lord. Thanks to God, I'm here today. Just simple things like that. There's no way in this world that I wouldn't be up here in this stage today if it wasn't for the Lord. And I believe that. I want to thank everyone here so much. I really, truly thank you for your support. Because of lots of people in this room and around this country, I found out today, September 30th was the end of our quarter. We raised $6.8 million. That's unheard of. A Maryland Republican? Yeah, so thank you all so much. It's greatly appreciated. If you want to check out my platform, help continue this journey, it's kimkforcongress.com. But you know what? I think we've already won. I really do. Not only will we be elected on November 3rd, but just because of what we did, not just with the videos, but all the noise that we've been making, you know, everybody in this room, people are waking up across this country. We canvass 7 days a week, 5 days a week, we actually register voters. But we go and talk to people and they tell us, you know what, Kim, you really opened my eyes. I didn't look at it this way until you, President Trump, and many others spoke out. Absolutely. So thank you, thank yourselves, because you're part of this movement. Thank you all. Good night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please